that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah, open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AoA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you could catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AoA show. I'm your host, as always, Ian, along with my boys, Isaiah.
Yo.
And Gavin.
What's up?
And Gavin, how about you show them a little something we got going on that monitor here, okay? Being in the spirit here of Tower of God, since you guys have been freaking awesome, the fan base, and we were trying to think, we're like, okay, what other, fun kind of episodes can we do besides reviewing, the manhwa or the anime episodes or whatever, and we decided to make a tier list. So here we are. Hopefully the monitor will help you folks out. And we're going to base this tier list off the parameter of likability. Now, a lot of this is going to be incredibly arbitrary and subjective. So we don't need people throwing bows in the comment section. That's okay. True. If your character didn't make it there, this is...
It's probably because they suck. Yeah.
And because we're at the table right now and you're not. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do.
Facts.
We might just not have the same favorite characters, but we have a couple rules to it. So it's just going to be off of likability in general. Who we like and why, but also trying to give it a little more of an objective look and see like, okay, this person though, in, a real sense, are they really likable? Are they really not? And why do we think that people gravitate towards this specific character? So we do have a rule as well where all three of us will get one point, I guess you could say, to put any character on this list in S tier with no questions or argument asked, even if we vehemently disagree with them on their decision. We each get one.
I kind of, like, in a dark, twisted spot in my mind, like, want someone to use it on Rachel.
I was going to say,
but I don't, but only because nobody can dispute it, and everybody would.
Literally the first thought when he's like, no one can test it. I was like, Rachel, are you ready?
Are you ready? No. Now, this will be based off of characters from only season 1.
Yes.
And you'll notice that we obviously have not included every character from season 1 because as much as we love to do this, we don't want to be here for 3 fucking hours talking about every single one. So
we've been there, we've done that.
Yeah. We've taken some of the most prominent characters within there. There are some honorable mentions as well. So if a character came up that is pretty large and didn't make the list, we definitely thought of said character, but when it came down,
had a list of like 30
characters. We had a lot.
Like half hour.
Yeah, we cut them down, and there were some characters that it was pretty painful to take out. I think an honorable mention here would be someone like Evan for me personally. I like him a lot, but like there are certain ones that we had to just file down because we don't want to be here forever. So anyway, that's it. We'll bring you through the tiers real quick. So S tier, we got that's my boy or that's my girl. Okay, that's the ride or die. That's the one. Okay. At A tier, you got my right-hand man or woman. All right. You got to have a partner in crime. Coming in at B tier, we work together. We're good. Yeah. We're good. We're all right. We get the job done. Coming in at D tier, we have friends on Facebook.
I love that.
Because everyone knows that doesn't mean shit. So, that's there. And at D tier, right? S-A-B-C-D. Yep. At D tier, we have... Who are you? Who are you? Yeah. What do you want with my life?
Sorry, new phone, who this?
Yeah, new phone, who this? I don't even want to know you. Get out my face, okay? So those are the tiers. We're going to go through some of the characters. And, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below.
Yes.
If you agree with the tier list, which obviously majority probably won't because everyone's got their own opinion, so that's the fun in it, right? Yep. And are we going to be posting this tier list somewhere?
Yes, obviously at the time of recording, this isn't going to go out immediately, but when it does, we can post a link so that you can make your own tier list.
Yes, absolutely.
Or in the comments, just listen.
Yeah. So let us know those thoughts. And as always, guys, if you do enjoy the content today, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, commenting your thoughts below, and sharing with your friends. If you're on another podcast platform and listening to the audio-only version, make sure you guys are following there. If you don't have us on the socials yet, that's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to take that support to the ultimate step, you can hit us up on Patreon. That's patreon.com/AoA show. Or as always, all these links are in the description down below. All right. Anyway, with all that being said, let's hop into it. So let's start. You want to just start left to right with Ho over here?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get with Ho real quick. All right. What do we think about Ho?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Right off the bat, I'm feeling friends on Facebook.
Wow, you're even going that far. I was gonna go with
Who are you?
Yeah, but honestly,
Really? Well, here's the thing. I think Ho ain't right. You know, Ho did some fucked up shit.
Ho's a hoe.
Ho been hoeing.
But like, I do think there's an avenue of attack in the manner of like his motivations and like why he did things. Like,
I agree.
He was not a Rachel in the sense where he's just fucking up for the sake of being a shit person. Like, especially in the latter half of the season when you get into his death scene and all that, and you get that you get his backstory. Like, that's a fucked up thing to go through, and like obviously he internalized that and handled it very, very poorly.
Yeah.
But like, that's a traumatizing thing for anyone to go through, and it's like, it makes me feel like, all right, I see why you're fucked up. I'm just disappointed that you handled it in the manner that you did instead of, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're friends on Facebook, but I don't fuck with him. I don't talk to him in person, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I could see the argument, but I could also see, since this is based off of likability, like, I kind of have to wonder out there, is there anyone who really liked Ho? Like, if you guys like Ho, if you guys fucked with Ho, then let us know.
Ho likers.
You know, yeah.
Come on out.
Where the Ho likers at, you know? Let us know. But I think in terms of likability, he's pretty low. I could definitely see your argument, though, for putting him in friends on Facebook, because there is like this tiny modicum of sympathy that you have, like, or pity.
It's this tragic past thing, you know, where it's like,
and it's like,
I can't
all
say
right,
like,
bro,
I can't say I don't get it, but like,
you're gonna go through this, but fuck that guy. I want to put him in Who Are You, because I fucking hate that motherfucker. I just don't like characters that go along that route of just being like, I couldn't do it. So instead of like trying to maybe learn from Bam or, befriend him or try and use other ways, like, look at Rachel, right? We're going to get to her, and Rachel literally is fucking pathetic. And you could hate her all day for being a fucking sleazeball, but at least she's trying to fucking use everyone to her fucking ability to get up that tower. Ho didn't even give a concentrated effort. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to yeet this knife right in my fucking heart and kill myself right now. And I'm like, bro, give it a fucking effort, bro. You're at the tower. Like, you're here.
Give it an effort, bro.
Yeah, dude. Come on, bro. All right? Do it. This is a tower of God, dog. This is what we're talking about. But fucking,
why the accent?
I don't know. But you got to get to the top. Try and get a wish or something.
You got to get to the top.
All right, so moving on.
Anyway, fuck that guy. All right, moving on.
So we got Bam.
All right,
now
we got
we're
the
at
boy.
everybody's homie.
Yeah, we got the boy, bro. Like, is it really too much to say that's my boy?
But keep in mind, it's
hold
one
on.
per person. So do you plan on using that?
I was saying we could agree if something goes on S tier, right? Like, not that
we can, but we still got like one each, though.
I'm not saying that's my token here I'm using. I'm just saying that I could see there's argument for putting.
There's definitely an argument to be made for S tier, although I could see an argument for A.
Oh, my
what's your reason?
Man. I don't know why I said it like that, but hey.
Much in the same lieu of how I can sympathize with Ho's past.
Zoom in a little on this, Gavin. I'm sorry.
And understand, like,
on what,
where he
and just move it to the side.
Zoom in on,
you know,
that actually might be a little.
All right, whatever. We'll try. I'm sorry. I was just thinking of a thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
Much where I can sympathize with like Ho's, his upbringing and like how he grew up. I do believe that as great as Bam is, he's a little too like reliant to a clingy standard on the fact that he grew up with Rachel. And especially after meeting all the other different people he meets, the idea to so vehemently and like strong-windedly put Rachel before everything and everyone, even his own health, does in my mind beg again, especially after he's met so many other different kinds of people that are willing to show him compassion, does beg the question of like something of a character flaw. And I don't say that in like I don't like Bam. I love Bam. But like, nobody's perfect, right? And I do think that S tier, like, is pretty fucking close to perfect. And I could see the argument for S, but I do believe there's a stance to be made for A.
That is a straight facts machine. However, imagine if you were the Rachel in his eyes, and not in terms of a relationship love, but in terms of if he had that bond with you. Theoretically, he literally is your ride or die. Like, he's your homie till the end. Like, he might as well be more than your right-hand man. That kid's, like, halfway down your pants 24/7, you know? And I'm just saying, I may not agree with his relationship with Rachel. However, if you had that relationship with him,
I don't know though. I think that people don't give Bam enough credit though, right? Because it's like the meme goes around that it's like Bam is fucking simp lord, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, super simp for Rachel and everything like that. But it's like, dude, if you could try and take yourself out of your own shoes for a second and put yourself in his, imagine fucking growing up in Dirtville or whatever the fuck he grew up in, right? You got dirt and rocks. That's what you look at all fucking day, right? And you just like, you don't even got a barber down there. Yeah. His hair was down to his fucking ass.
No
like
barber.
He's probably eating scorpions and shit. Like his life was total ass, right? And like for him, it's not even because it's like, oh, I just want to get in Rachel's pants or some shit like that. I know you guys know that, but it's like, Rachel was literally the only friend that he's ever known. Yeah. And it's like, do you know, come on, you got to know someone out there, right? That it's like, you're willing to put it all on the line for. And not even getting past the Rachel thing, right? I even think beyond that, Bam has showed such an incredible ability to sway the minds. Shut that shit up. I'm in the middle of a speech. All right. Bam has been able to sway the minds and hearts of literally everyone on this list and beyond. Like likability wise, if these were real characters and they were making the tier list, Bam would be above S tier for everyone here. He has literally made like half of their reasoning to climb the tower himself. Now, again, we're taking it in terms of people, real people on his likability. But I just think that it's like, if you're going to like someone, and again, this is based off season 1, so maybe he does get better. So sure, I can see the argument for my right-hand man. Definitely no lower than that. Oh, no. But I do think that he is worthy of S tier. And I think that as this goes on, I think he's definitely going to be worthy of S tier. We just got to wait and see.
I agree, but the more I think about it, I do want to put him in my right-hand man. I think that's my final vote.
Okay.
Yeah, after that whole monologue, I'm going to my right-hand man.
I'm going to go with Gavin.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not using my token on him.
It's like, Bam is my literal homie.
Yeah.
Fuck that nigga. Put him in
that whole drawn-out monologue for fucking nothing. Disappointing viewers.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even know who I was using a token on. So it's just going to be random.
I already know who's using it.
It's going to get to the end in...
Yeah. All right, the next one is Rack.
Bro, you guys are like telling secrets over here and shit.
No,
like,
we're expressing the
we are
reality
not telling
of the nature.
secrets.
No.
All right, Rack, bro. That's my boy, all right?
What'd I tell you? What did we say?
That little secret we had was we know that it was going to Rack. Don't give me no butt.
I ain't using my token on him. No, dead ass. I think I really like Rack a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with all these characters a lot, so I'm probably just gonna say that a fuckload of times. Okay, Rack is the fucking.
We're gonna get to Rachel, and by habit, he's gonna be like, "This is." Oh, sorry.
Right? No, I mean I love Rack. I think
I wouldn't have guessed.
I think Rack. Oh man. I don't love you. No, so
you sound like my mother. Fuck you.
So Rack, honestly though, I feel like Rack has served a very important role in this story, not just strictly from we need to progress this plot standpoint, but which he does, but also in other terms, right? He serves as comedic relief. He serves as a motivator, right? Mm-hmm. He serves as a person that is there for you, a person that has this like loyalty and fealty to what the cause and what you're doing, and he's ready to put his shit on the line to defend you in just the hopes that he could fight you later. But it's like, that's the facade, right? It's like when he goes to Bam, he genuinely gives a shit. Rack is also the first one to cry out, right? When they think that Bam has died at the end. He's the first one to display his emotion in a character that you don't think would want to do that, right? Like it's the last person that you think would want to show that vulnerability, but he does it. And I just love him for that. Like you love him right from the start because he's menacing and he's scary and you're like, dude, I want to see this guy cut loose. But when you see that there's like this added layer of depth to his character, you know, and it's like, I can't help but think either. We've gotten a lot of comments and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on this. This is just conjecture. I feel like apparently the creator, whose name evades me, of the manhwa said that drawing Rack is a pain in the ass. Like how large he is. And so like he minimized him at one point in order to make it easier on himself to draw him. And then even when he's larger, he doesn't prioritize like fight scenes and stuff like him because it's literally a pain in the ass. And again, I could be wrong on that, but that's what I've kind of gotten general consensus from comments so far. And if that is true, that kind of sucks, right? Because it's like he's never, I don't know how it's going to progress in the future, but at least as it stands right now, he's really never gotten a chance to like cut loose, you know what I mean? And like show us what he has. And I just feel like there's so much complexity and levels to his character instead of just being some big dumb crocodile. Yeah. You know what I mean? He serves as the comedic relief. He serves as the emotion and the vulnerability. He serves as like so many roles in this show and in this story. So, I mean, like for me, I would probably put him, I don't think he's perfect. I don't think he's like, that's my boy up there, although he's my boy. But you name these things to make it so I gotta say. But I honestly would put him in, for me, I would put him in right-hand man at least. Okay. That's my personal opinion.
You know, I had this weird like epiphany when you were talking, and a lot of it was like when you were going into Rack and how he hasn't actually lashed out in a way. And maybe I'm reading like too far in between the lines, but I feel like for the majority of these characters, like realistically, they have lashed out in a way, but none of them have really gone like berserk in terms of like killing rampages.
And, yeah, we need to see more of those.
And I feel like that's done in a way to almost preserve their innocence. Like Rack is such a comedic relief in this show, and we hold him to such a high regard, despite how much of like almost a primal animal that we know he is in terms of all he wants to do is fucking fight people. Yeah. But since we haven't seen that like side of him, and we're not exposed to how much of more or less like a fearful predator that he is, I feel like they're kind of holding off on that. So like we have more of a skewed view on him. Like we know he can go balls to the wall. However, if he does, we are going to have a different viewpoint on him that might not be as positive as it should be, and they're holding out on it. I don't know why. I just had that thought cross my mind. And I might literally just be reading too far into the lines on this.
You're saying
like,
D-tier.
What? Yeah. But like, I don't know, that like, it was a thought, like maybe that's a reason why he hasn't really gone crazy, where, you know, they just don't want him killing so many people, because then they're like, why would you like Rack? He just fucking kills everybody on sight, you know? Like, it kind of like preserves his innocence in a way.
Where would you put him, Gavin?
Mate, right-hand man, all day. All day. That, or if I had to drop, I could not go past we work together, but like, honestly, dude, like, Rack's a G. I feel like everybody's going to want it, though, default in a right-hand man. And like, that's the problem.
You're going to say something lower, and I'm curious to hear what you're
Here's the thing. I would be, I'm okay with putting him in right-hand man.
Okay.
I just can see an argument for we work together.
I can too.
I'm not going to lie, I can too. I could see why certain people would be there. I feel like Rack, at least the way I could see it, doesn't have enough so far of like this, I guess, complexity and just these layers, and like he hasn't served as large of a purpose so far. I guess that would be the way I could see why somebody would rank him lower. Maybe you see it in a different way, but I could see why. But I do think in terms of likability, I don't know. What do you think?
I think the only thing I see, and some of it is like is how I personally view Rack as a character.
Okay.
There's just not like, so one of the things actually we were talking about before, like earlier in the day today, was we were talking about God of High School versus Tower of God. And one of the things that I was talking about was like, I think I like Tower of God so much more because of the layers of complexity in the show, but also like the sense and like the vibe that this show gives off in comparison to something like God of High School, which is very much just like boom, boom, action.
It's a completely different show. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of these characters like fit into that groove for me with with that feeling, with that aesthetic. And not to say that Rack doesn't, but he's the only character who we haven't seen like his faults affect him. So like what I mean is like with, you know, Kun. Kun is a highly intelligent, like capable person, but he has trust issues, right? He doesn't trust people, and he doesn't like losing, and he doesn't like things being like, you know, taken away from him. And that creates a very complicated character who, even when he makes choices that like are good for him, like those choices could end up turning around and biting him in the butt. Rack, and again, you know, obviously this could change if later seasons, you know, we get more Rack and stuff, but Rack is the only character who, good or bad, whatever decision he makes, he can always kind of seem to just wiggle his way out of it, like no matter what. And none of his choices have ever really come back, and nothing he's ever done has like really solidified him, to me, just more personal, as like a character with like viable faults. And like, I think to me, it all leads into, again, right now, this could totally change if, you know, we get more Rack or whatever later seasons, as a character that is just much less interesting than everybody else on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like so far Rack suffers due to the fact that it seems that, not in a bad way, but it does seem like there's a bias, right? From the from the creator's perspective, right?
Sure.
We're following the story of Bam. This is his story. Kun clearly has a major role to play, right? He's from one of the great families. Everyone loves a character that's incredibly intelligent, right? You have people like, Endorsey. You have the political dealings with these people that are like, on top, like Hensong, things like that. And I feel like Rak, unfortunately, suffers from the fact that he's not part of one of the great families. He's just kind of, I don't want to say ordinary because he's unique in his own way. And for the reasons I described, I actually think he plays a more important role than people might give him credit for. But I think that unfortunately he does suffer from that fact that it's like the creator, and again, I could be dead wrong past season 1, kind of looks at it as like, okay, I don't really need to expound upon this character besides the things that he's already doing because it's
I
not
guess that's my only
be,
fear is that I worry that like we're not going to see much more. And that if this is where Rak's character stays, it puts it leagues above or under most of the characters who you can just sort of see have room to grow and potential to change. But I would still be definitely willing to put him in right now.
I agree with you. I hope you're wrong. Because you know what I mean? I think he has the potential to be a cool
Rak's
character.
base character.
The
character that we've seen. I want more.
So I think based off of season 1 vibes so far, being that we haven't really been able to pull too many layers back with some of these characters, it's a fault, but not to the point of where he's, I think, a lesser character to me. But I think as seasons progress, if he continues down that road and doesn't really do anything and these characters continue to ascend, then I could definitely see merit for him going down because it's just how the cookie crumbles. You know what I mean? So I guess right now we'll put him in my right-hand man. Or my right-hand alligator, crocodile.
Or right-hand animal.
Why is my mouse?
Man thing.
You got it?
You got it.
That was weird.
Word. Are you able to zoom in a little more?
No, I literally can't.
For real?
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. All right, who do we got next?
Quant
Blitz.
I got my Quant.
Quant's Blitz.
Yo, Quant's my boy. No, just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I think Quant to me is definitely Quant has definitely grown on me. As a character. And I think they do him a little more justice, especially in the A/B testing qualifiers where they have to play like the tag game, I guess you can call it. I do think that his character seems like he doesn't get his full ability to shine, especially if we're talking about terms of the anime. And I feel like the manhwa, as the manhwa does with most of these characters, to be fair, fleshes him out much better. So it's definitely gotten me to, have a deeper appreciation for folks like this. There's really not too much to say. I think he's underrated in some sense, but I don't think that there's enough for me to really place him on somewhere that's S, obviously. And I don't even know if I'd say right-hand man for me. I would say probably Work Together would be mine because I like him as a character and I think he's likable.
Same.
And I don't think he's like people dislike him, right?
No.
Cuz he's like a kind of a goofball. He's got a hot temper.
So in mirroring with what we just talked about with Rak, he's one of the characters who I feel like is, while also not very well established or distinguished in like in total, has very obvious character flaws that do interact and affect him negatively.
Yeah.
For instance, like with his temper, where despite his rank, despite his experience, he can still be taken advantage of, and those flaws can still be utilized like in a way that keeps the story engaging and keeps like him as a character in a place where he's always got room to grow. And I feel like that is what puts him, for me, as high as he does as B, but it's like not quite A or S, because while it's good, it, again, like, in the realm, I guess, of Rak, it does ring as like very, like a very basic problem. It's like, he just gets really angry all the time and can't.
He has his
himself.
own personal problems, and until he gets over them, he can't go much further.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Then we got
all right, cool.
The green
Anak.
Lizzie.
My girl, Anak.
Oh yeah.
Which, in terms of likability, now on a grand scale, I think I was saying this earlier. I feel like Anak, from what I've seen, like from some of the community out there, kind of gets a lot of flack so far, at least in terms of the first season.
You just brought this up to me a while ago. I wasn't really even aware that there's like so much.
I could be wrong.
Anak
I could be wrong. If like, if I'm dead wrong, whatever. If you guys want to tell me.
I've seen people who are like, I don't like Anak.
Yeah.
Or they just don't like her on a personality front. They're like, she's a little too like distant and cold and whatever. I've never really not fucked with her.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people give her a bad rap.
She's
Dude,
one of those
I'm telling you.
Who, like, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
like,
good. You're good.
For me, even from the gate, right? When you first meet her and she meets Bam and everything, and she's like, "Yo, Black March, hand over.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
everybody else was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like, hold on, guys, wait a minute, let's hear her story. Because she always struck me as like somebody who got angry, but like never without reason, never without like just to attack or just to instigate or interrogate people. It was always like, and then like you obviously learn about her backstory and learn that she has a very valid reason to be angry. But like always, she just always struck me as somebody that was like running on the line of anger out of passion and not anger out of like some inferiority complex or like, you know what I mean? Something like that, which I always vibed with, a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it gives them a little, I don't want to say a pass, right? Because if they're doing evil things or something like that, doesn't excuse it at the end of the day. But I guess I come with a little more understanding to it, right? I mean, again, depending on what they do, it's not an excuse, but at least it's not outright like, you're just terrible through and through. And it's like, it's kind of like the, what is it called? Like the noble villain thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, you have a little, you have a slight, sometimes it adds a complexity to characters that are either villains or doing things that like are villainous or things out of anger and stuff, when you can see, like, you could at least understand why, and it makes sense why. Right. Not just like, okay, I understand why, but it's still dumb. It's like, I guess you get it.
Gavin, I heard you.
Gavin's been contorting his fucking lips back and forth over there.
No, because I'm really thinking about it, and it's hard because the knock for me, I understand both sides, and I don't think everything Isaiah said is completely right, because you got to think about when he had...
With all that being said, where the fuck do we rank her? Damn, we got into it on that one, huh? Who would have thought it would have been on a knock?
I was going to say, this always happens where it's like, all right, I know who I'm fighting with you guys with, and then like a knock comes up, and it's like, look here!
I will die on this hill, damn it! Jesus fuck.
Sorry, I had to split the audio. I had to make a point.
I was like, oh shit.
Sorry.
I would go personally between these two. We work together as friends on Facebook.
Those
what?
Personally.
Whoa.
No, I don't know.
Then a little low with friends on Facebook here.
Yeah, I'm going to say we work together. For me,
a little low. I mean, I wouldn't have right hand man. What do you mean a little low? Between the two,
it cannot go lower than we work together.
I agree.
All right, well, it can't get any higher than that. So I would not go my right hand.
Wow, damn, bro.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, how compromise works.
Yeah, it can't go lower than that. Can't go higher than that. Bam.
All right. Anyway, next character. What's her name, Gavin?
Ryun.
Yeah.
Give me $100.
All right, let's go. What's her full name?
All right. Oh wait, no. KWYA. And I already forgot.
I thought it was
say it.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Wait, is it KWYA? Kawa?
KWA.
It's HWA.
What is wrong with us?
I like how it turned into, do you know her name? And it's like, no, it's this, you idiot. And then it's like, no, you idiot, it's this. And we're all just looking at each other like we're all
Here come the
stupid.
comments again, putting us on flame. What are you, an idiot? They say your name 48 fucking times on the bottom.
Well, wait, what was it? Ryun.
What?
Ryun.
Yes, we're
sticking with Ryun.
We're going with Ryun. Everybody else can get
apparently her first name is far too complicated.
Everybody else can get fucking bent.
All right, Ryun, I think that she is a candidate of friend zone. We don't know much about her.
Whoa.
All right,
What do you
relax.
mean?
First of all,
Whoa.
Ryun is a beautiful soul.
Yes.
Okay,
and that
first of
cannot
all.
not be taken into account.
Exactly, because likability plays and attractiveness plays a
Attractiveness
huge
don't play into
factor
that.
in
You are the
likability.
definition
All right,
of
where is she
blind.
going? We went an hour on an hour.
Obviously, yes.
That's my girl.
Oh, I got lightheaded off that.
Oh god.
All right. On a real note.
But on a real note, I do think I think friends on Facebook is far too low. I think at a base minimum,
We're starting at that base.
it's okay. Let's hold on before we just start moving characters and labeling people. All right, can we have a conversation about change
The whole
and
purpose
people
is to
and
label
growth
people
for a minute? Okay.
Oh my God, Isaiah.
Yeah, but can we label them with dignity? But
She
I don't
wears
know,
an
man. I
iPad.
just
She gets no dignity. Fuck her. No, I'm kidding.
Are you kidding me?
As my own father needs to.
Have you ever seen Pirates of the fucking Caribbean before?
I actually haven't. So
all right, so Gavin, where would you put her?
we work together. At the, I mean, hold on. Well, at the very most, I personally would put her on Friends of Facebook. But if it's against the jury, then we will go against the jury. But
Right, Ian is obviously hurt. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a happy camper myself.
She's not going any higher than we work together, so I'm throwing.
We'll go.
that out
We
there.
work together.
Okay.
I'll compromise.
That's fair.
By the way, I just thought of a little thing to this. We should choose our. S tier. Should we choose our ones that we do, like our S tier ones, when everything's actually put into place, or should we just do it on the fly?
What you're saying is, do you want to fight about every single character, or do you want to fight about every single character with the exception of 3?
All right, whatever. We'll move on. All right.
Ian's thinking back. He's like, I know who my
Everyone's
S tier is.
apparent fan favorite here, Enderosi. What do we think?
We work together.
My right.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
I would.
Gavin, I'm not gonna lie. Over here in the Church of Enderosi, we're not. We're a little upset. We're a little upset.
Look, she's a homegirl, but like I don't think that she's above Anak in her. Like I feel like Anak and her on the
Really,
same
this man
level.
was ready to die.
You were literally ready to
like
skewer Enact's
fucking
head on a pike.
Winston Churchill, fucking
No.
Tecumseh Sherman, like fucking general, dying on a fucking hill, ready to talk why Anak was fucking fucking up 8 ways from Sunday. He goes through all that, his head's about to explode, and then he goes, I wouldn't put it.
No,
Rosie
I
above
told
Anak."
you. I was talking. I was a
What?
devil's advocate where I told you on many occasions.
You're a hell of a devil's advocate.
Thank you. I fuck
How
with
high
the
are you
knock.
in the fucking Church of Lucifer,
If
you
you listen,
fucking
I said
demon?
I fuck with the knock. I just think that you are giving her too much credit. That's the only thing.
Damn, dog.
It's like her. You're giving her too much fucking credit.
Gavin.
Oh my fucking god. All right. Enderosi, we work together. Final answer, deal or no deal.
Okay, wait.
Well,
You have to
that's
give an
not- yeah, that is
explanation
not how this
as to
works.
why
And
she
I
did it.
literally just said, in terms of her mental state and likability, I don't find her more likable at this very moment compared to Anak any higher. I think that they're on a level playing field, and I think that comes to where how their mindset is in understanding themselves and their life and where they are at. I don't think that she's my right-hand woman right now because she still has her own shit going on, and she could still be playing the game by her rules. She does have a little bit of a shady side to her, and you can't really dismiss that.
Yeah.
Whether that makes her more attractive or not is to be determined by other people.
No, it's been determined, it does.
I know by Isaiah it is. So, like, as a person, if it's my ride or die, I know I would want someone who's more there because they got my back, indefinitely. I wouldn't want a little bit of shade behind there unless, obviously it comes with their personality. I think she has more room to grow. I think that she is on the same playing field as Anak, personally. So with that, we work together is my final answer.
So I'm not going to lie. As much shit as I've just given you there, I actually agree with you.
I knew you were gonna agree.
Now,
Isaiah's like,
but
S-tier.
I want to actually pass the question to you, Isaiah, because if you give me a reasoning good enough, I am willing to put her a tier above. But to be honest, where we stand right now, I have to agree with Gavin in the sense that, sure, she is a fan favorite, like amongst a lot of people right now. And I guess I understand why. And I think a lot of her personality has to do with that. She's kind of like the I don't take shit kind of girl. You know what I mean? Where it's like I'm cocky, but not to the point where you despise me really. And it's like I got this like attractive vibe.
It's not even really that, because like Enderosi would go, again, if I personally made this list, Anak and Enderosi would go in the same column, and that's the one above we work together,
Okay.
which is right-hand woman. And I believe because for a lot of the same reason, which is why I actually really like their relationship in the show, because I think they can both learn sort of all the best things from each other. I think that
Fair.
much like Anak, Enderosi is a woman who's grown up in an environment that was designed to break her. It was designed to beat her into this way of thinking and into this lifestyle that nobody wins unless you step on top of them, and you don't survive unless you're willing to do whatever it takes. And that means a lot of the times killing or disposing of anybody that gets in your way.
Yes.
And we see that when we meet her, and we see that through the early courses of, like, her being introduced with the test and stuff, how easily she's willing to dispose of and use, whoever the fuck, as long as she can get past the test. But I think, much like Anak, these characters have very obvious signs that they, while being victims of the system, are not willing to like continue this line of thinking and continue like this path that like this world is building for them. Both of them very clearly want to grow, and they want to like come to a genuine understanding of like what this world actually is, instead of what this world was like through the mouthpiece of whoever, whether it be Anak and her mom or Enderosi and King Jihad. And this light that I see in Enderosi, despite her, because I think the main difference between, like, let's say somebody like Enderosi and Anak versus like somebody like Bam is I see mirrors in them, but Bam is obviously a lot more likable because he's nice, right? The main difference, in my opinion, is just that. If Enderosi and Anak were nice, but had the same character flaws, everybody would love them. And they would love them for the same reasons.
I don't know about that. I think
so.
I think a lot of her appeal actually is the fact that she isn't that like all around nice.
So, well, this is what I'm saying. I think generally, like in this kind of conversation of like what character is the most likable, I think that situation. However, I think what a lot of people that do like Enderosi have gravitated toward is the fact that she's not. Is the fact that she's willing to like get angry or like, you know what I mean, attack somebody and like make mistakes and like be somebody that on the surface is like seems unlikable and is unlikable because that's just who she is. And I think if you're only going to take a look at somebody and look at them for like the face front personality, the mask, so to speak, that they wear and not what's underneath it, then when judging a character's likability or who they are, I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice by not taking into account who I think and people who like Enderosi, despite the fact that she's hot as fuck, I like the character. I like this character that I see. A character who is the definition of flawed, but is also the definition of like trying to better those flaws. And like, there's nothing.
And I feel like, you know, it's funny though, because now that you're saying it, it's not, and it's like not even, I think Anak actually plays the most critical role in that though, because I actually don't think Enderosi would be trying to remedy those flaws. She seems like she's fucking living in that system when we first meet her, and she's embracing it.
I actually think that Bam is the one that spawns Enderosi's mindset for change. I think Anak is going to be a critical role in that because, like I said, I think they mirror their situations so closely that it's going to actually be hard for them not to draw.
So I agree, but you're also talking about Enderosi endgame, like endgame material.
No, that's how.
But no, like I understand what you're talking about now, where the seed's being planted and you see that change, and she's making those changes. However, we're staying within the first season. We don't know how she develops these feelings. Yes, you can get a good understanding and
we already saw in the first season that she made the critical choice to not kill Anak when Riceball gave her the chance. So this is what I'm saying.
That's true, but
it's not like these monumentous giant character jumps. It's like it's the first steps, the little things. Everybody has to start from somewhere, and Enderosi has already taken her first steps into understanding Anak and becoming a better person around.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and it makes sense. The whole thing is, though, it's almost like the same argument where people can change in the future, and although she is making the correct steps forward, it's also judging into the future where anything can happen, you know, when push comes to shove and if they're put against each other. And obviously, you know that since the moves that she has made with Anak, that she's not just going to throw her under the rug and that she is changing. However, at this point, I also feel like it's a little bit too early on to give her too much credit. We kind of need to see her make some, again, more harder decisions and see how her mental fortitude really holds up. I think it's a little early to say. I mean, you can go off of all the examples and be like, yeah, lock it in. She's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread because of the decisions that she made at this point.
Well, so that's my other thing is I don't know. This isn't even to say that Enderosi could grow up to be the best thing. She could grow up and still be kind of a bitch and kind of a terrible person. True. It's these people that try. It's these people that thank you.
He's like these people that try.
Look, I'm trying to tell you. It's these people who try. It's these people who at the end of the day, even if they know they're gonna make a mistake, put in the work and put in the effort to change, because that oftentimes is so much harder in itself to do than actually changing, because actually changing is once you've already identified a problem and know how to solve it. The hardest part of fixing a problem, though, is identifying it. Making those early steps, I feel, is a lot harder to do, and I encourage and like people like Enderosi all the much for being able to do that in the circumstance she's in, because it would be incredibly easy for her to just run with the flow. She is literally one of the best positions that you can have in this tower. She's fucking Princess of Jihad. Other than like not getting to sleep with people, literally she couldn't have it easier. But like she's choosing the incorrect path. She's choosing the harder fight. She's choosing to bear witness to all the inevitable pain and suffering she'll probably have to go through by befriending Bam and all her friends. But she knows that that's the right decision, and like how much harder that's going to be for her, and ultimately that puts her up.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows it's the right decision again, but she is toying with the idea, and the only way that she's going to get there is by if they work together.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, let me put it this way. I can see the argument for we work together or what's the one above it? My right-hand man?
Yeah, my
right-hand man.
Or woman.
But it's weird now because I feel like if we put her up there, I feel like Anok's got to be right next to her. Because I feel like their characters like go like yin and yang. Like they are literally going this course together. And sure, this is likability. So you could they could be going the course together, but you just you fuck with Enderosi's personality more. But I feel like for me, we're the ones on the podcast here. I actually like Anok's personality more. I love how fucking tenacious she is. Mm-hmm. And like Enderosi, where she has that like cocky vibe where it's like, I'm a fucking princess. Like, you're not going to jump to this pillar. And Anok's like, bet. And she's like right in her fucking face already throwing bows. And I'm like, go, that's my girl. I'm like, fucking get her. You know what I mean? I'm like, balls, you know? So like, I like that shit personally. But yeah, I feel like their characters are so intertwined. It's hard for me to put one above the other because their roads are leading to like a very similar destination. You know?
For me, they have the eventuality and the duality to be my right-hand man or woman, but right now they're still at that like fledgling stage to where they literally need to be in that like we work together phase, and they are working together to make that next step. And that's like my whole thing is like, I'm just waiting for them to make that next step and then I'll accept it, but they're not there yet. It's too premature. And honestly, that's with a majority of their characters. You know, a lot of it's just premature.
Saying, Spock. But listen, riddle me this.
But you're playing Endgame. I'm not. I'm doing first season.
I'm not playing Endgame, dog. I'm playing end of season 1, bro. I'm playing end of season.
They're not that complete homie after the season.
Bro,
1.
you gotta say though, Gavin, like on a real note, and I was the one to give Enderosi shit initially, like out of all of us. So like, I have to say though, dude, like if you look at a lot of these other characters, like minus a couple though. Like, you know, is she really like on a lower tier than some of those people? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, let's put it this way. There's people past Enderosi that I know for a fact are going to go lower than we work together.
Yeah, and or at least lower than Enderosi. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you going to
That's why you got friends on Facebook, and who are you?
No, but those are reserved for the asses, bro.
What do you mean? That's because you're reserving them for your predetermined thoughts. That's why you got 5...
Yeah, it's like I'm about to break over here.
No, I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Look, bro, if you put her and we work together, it's gonna be very hard for me to put anybody else.
Wait. Who else? I know what you're saying, and I'm thinking about it more, and I actually agree with you. Who else we got here? You know what? I
just put her in the right hand. That's good. But we're putting Anok in there too, and I don't want to fucking
no, I did. I wasn't even... Okay, if they're going together, whether you like it or not.
Good. That's my good. Look, it looks like they're even holding hands. Or she's holding the whip.
Yeah. I just want to shout out my niggas in the church from Enderosi.
Oh my God.
I see you guys. Hey, we got you.
Oh my God. All right, so we got...
What are we doing?
Heat on. All right, now like I'm done. Good God.
All right, heat on.
Heat on.
Heat on F. No, I'm kidding. I'm making wild choices.
Yeah.
I'd go
fuck. That's my boy. But in the moment, I could delete him on Facebook. So who are you? I don't know. Get out of my life.
See, no.
In the moment.
Heat on isn't a Facebook friend. He's a Snapchat friend. He's the type of guy who I would honestly be scrolling. No. I'd be looking for that story. See, Facebook, that's for old people like Ian. Like, who fucking uses Facebook anymore? What you got to do is you got to be where the real cool cats are at, and that's fucking Snapchat. And I would check out my boy Heat on Snap stories.
But I feel like
day.
Heat on would be the kind of nigga posting Snap stories that like always skeeve you out. You know, like you post some shit and it's like you're looking at like your boy George's Snap story, and you're like, oh damn, that's pretty funny. He went to that place and Heat on rolls up, and you're like, see, why are you recording this shit, bro? Like, that's weird. Don't do that.
I can see Heat on story being like, yo, just brought a new regular to the tower. Watch me fucking kill him.
That's what I'm like. No. But then
like,
it would be some wild shit. It'd be some shit like, I hope he does well, and he's smiling in the camera while the fucking dragon thing, and you're like, what do you mean?
Nah, he'd be like, I'm chilling with the boys, and it'll be him and the steel eel like playing fucking dodgeball. That nigga's
a friend on Facebook, bro. Because
that's what I'm saying. He's a friend on Facebook.
He's a friend on Facebook. Put him on. Put him up.
That was my argument this whole time, is that he's a friend on Facebook.
First of all, you said that Facebook was for old people or something.
Yeah,
like
it should be friends on Snapchat, but
because he's the kind of nigga who you know from a distance and you're fine. But the second you meet him in real life, you're like, oh, that's
no. He's like, I can admire. Yeah,
he's like, let me show you my collection of fucking dolls or something like that. It's like, I'm a pass.
And you're like, oh, these are cool fake dolls, and he's like, they're not fake. Like, all right, I'm out of here.
You're like, that one just blank. He's like, yeah. You're like, oh shit. You're like, oh god.
Facts.
All right, who do we got? We got Hong Song.
Oh, we both had that idea. All right.
Yo, homie though.
I don't know.
Is he?
Actually. I don't know.
Homie, it's a little strong.
He's kind of getting.
He basically is trying to kill half the niggas that are in this tower.
You're right. He's definitely a complex character, and there's a lot to be fleshed out with him. Or not. Who knows? They could just go to the next floor, and that's all we saw. He could just be a straight evil nigga. No, straight up, because after the first season here, he's like, let me say a prayer. And they all just fucking teleport to the next one. So that could be it. But I doubt it.
Well, the only thing we know is that he 100% sides with King Jihad. And like, you know, in that political side, because he's literally willing to axe Anak just off the premise that Anak goes against King Jihad and everything they stand for. And amongst this test, he was like, yeah, nah, we got to get rid of her. She's a threat. And
true. Like, although, if we've seen people make some crazy schemes like Kuhn with the fucking A/B testing against Quant, like he could be going through that, but then knew in the back of his mind that at the end of the day that there was going to be the contingency plan. You know what I mean? And that, like, you don't know, dude.
I don't think that. And here's why.
Well, you're wrong. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't like this nigga's face.
See, one, you're wild, and I rest my case. To defend Ian.
No. But in all seriousness, okay.
Fucking dude. I genuinely thought you were gonna go off on like some like actual thing.
I was holding out,
but I had to break the tension in the room.
God,
I had to ease
that
the
was
situation.
great.
In all seriousness, I don't think that he's in that boat like a coon, like I got a plan under a plan kind of situation, because like the only people that we've seen so far, and again, like, yes, we are just using, you know, our limited speculation, that we've seen take the side of King Jihad are people that think like, that are like-minded like him. Nobody in this like show, no matter how double-crossing, no matter how whatever, have actively been like, yes, like long live King Jihad, and not fucked with him or been trying to like purposely throw him over. And to be honest, I think if he did seriously want that, he wouldn't be in the position he is, like an administrator. I think he would be a ranker, someone like what's his name?
Lero
Rowe, who's in a position of like power, but still under enough to where he can actually question the system and sort of like work against it if he wants to. I don't even think this dude's in a position where he can question the king if he wanted to.
I think that's the whole point of what Ian's talking about and why he could be such a wild card, because he can be putting on this front this whole time, but almost like it's to the point where he looks like he's so blindly loyal to Jihad when behind the scenes with his real self, he is kind of pulling the coon strings, and he's like, yo, I know if I even blink in the wrong direction, like my ass is grass. But if I play this shit endgame and I like kind of curate the people below me and like, you know, push him up in a way, like very discreetly, I could see them throw in like a little bone for him and be like, yeah, he was pulling strings from the beginning. Like I'm just saying they set up his character pretty well to where I feel like that it could go either way.
He's definitely a wild card in some way, shape, or form. Look at his face, bro.
I feel
Look
like
at him.
sometimes though, when
I'm just saying,
when a motherfucker is so like I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm like, I think you're just thinking too much about it. Like I think if some motherfucker says that he's evil and does evil things, like sometimes he might just be an evil nigga. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really think.
Yeah, but that's not anime, dude. This guy got like fucking half-mast when he saw Kuhn pulling out that plan. He's like, Lero, I know you feel it. He's pulling that out. I'm telling you, Lero, he's gonna do it.
That could be from a challenge perspective. Because as much as I think he might admire somebody like Kuhn, it's just to fight against him. It's not because he sees like an ally, because he sees somebody that like matches him in his like a level of intellect that he can destroy.
I do remember that scene where with Kuhn, and he's like, yeah, he's so crafty. I just want to fucking crush him. And Lero's like, yo, you good? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just fucking around. I'm just messing.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That man is not good.
Dude, I don't know. That's why I love it though. He's such a wild card.
He reminds me of like Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, if any of you have ever seen that. That's literally him, where he's like, God, that resolve. I can't wait to fucking crush him. And somebody's like, what? And he's like, oh, nothing.
But for out of the safety of me and my family, I would want it to go no closer than friends on Facebook.
Thank you.
Because I'm not going to lie, if I had that bitch in my house,
at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying, is y'all be like, yeah, he's pretty good. And I'm like, really? Go spend a half hour with him then. Go hang out with him. See if you come back.
No.
All right, friends on Facebook. I'm down with that. That's fine. All right. Hey, whoa. What are we doing?
What did I do?
Get that fucking imposter.
Excuse me.
Oh, wait. What am I doing?
There. Relax.
I had a stroke. Calm down.
Put Ho back with hose.
Wait, what the fuck?
There we go.
I really fuck. Wait,
hose
what did I do?
Hose man.
Hose man.
All right. Who do we got next?
Hots.
Hots.
Now, Hots is a funny one because off my own conjecture, like this is I've fucked myself with the wording of these tiers and some of this because like Hots is my right hand man. Like that's a man who I want at my side.
That always happens.
Like, like,
don't take the actual name literally. Like
where it's like, but like I want to be like.
It's A, B, C, D.
Yeah, it's like so that's why I could. But it's like it's like nah. Like I'm grabbing a beer with Hots after work, bro. We don't just work together. Like we're homies, bro. Like we're talking about the shit job we have and how we're gonna overthrow it and how we're gonna be entrepreneurs and make millions selling socks that clean your feet while you walk. Like that's what we're doing, bro. That's what we're doing. We're inventing things. We're changing the world.
We're inventing.
And like it's not gonna happen, but like talking about this shit while we're drinking the night away makes us feel better because we're bros. But when the demons roll in the tower and they're like, I'll fuck this shit up. Hots is grabbing his sword.
All right, where are you ranking him? I'm so lost.
I don't know, bro. I just like Hots, okay?
You got the hots for Hots, I can tell.
He's like, all right, I'm gay.
Make no mistake. The Hots is the character after Hots. But we'll get to that. That's another
I'm gonna
debate.
fucking kill you.
That's another debate.
Cool with his hair up, be hitting different. Fucking.
I chose the picture for a reason.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. That is all I am saying.
I'm done. No.
All right, where would you guys put Hots?
All right. To be real though, I just got to make a comment here. If anything, this is probably our most clippable episode of all time. Like, I've thought of 38 different scenarios where I'm like, that's got to be a clip. Like, that's got to be a clip.
Yeah, it's a meme every episode.
Oh, jeez.
Hot.
We might get canceled, too, while we're at it.
Bro, wait, this is actually kind of hard.
Cancel before we get started.
All right.
Good luck. We're not even there yet, idiot.
I fucking hate.
And now you fucked us. Great.
Someone's in the
We
basement.
run the cliff and you push us off.
Someone in their basement is like, challenge accepted. And they're just like on their fucking keyboard, like blasting away. Next thing you know, zero subs.
All right, Gavin, where would you put Hots?
I would ballpark him in these two. No lower, no higher.
I'm going to say we work together because I think Hots is, for the reasons you said, honestly, like he's just a chill dude. And like I couldn't see putting him lower than that because I feel like that's just disrespecting
Also,
him.
he's got this rack vibe where he's like, he's an honorable fighter. And I feel like in this list and specifically in the show, there's not that many people that you can say like are honorable fighters. Everybody literally specializes in how to fuck somebody over in a fight or like how to get the upper hand.
Yeah, which is a great character trait to have, but I think it's just that we see it so
like,
often. There's always like it's so
like Rack and Hots to counterbalance that, where they're like, no, like fight me, like dead on, square, like head to head.
And like not to mention how powerful he is, by the way, because like I don't know if he's from a great family. I don't know. Y'all can correct me on that. Is he?
Yes.
He is. Okay, whatever. If I'm wrong, I didn't know if he was because I was like, dude, he was going. I don't know about that. Yeah, Gavin, don't fuck me up.
Yeah, Gavin,
I don't know. Someone
you're a little too confident.
Yeah, you got me. That just goes to show if you were confident enough, you could sway someone's opinion like without it. Gavin's like, nope, straight up, and I'm like, really?
No,
and then
our resolve was like so low. We're like, yeah, you're right.
No, because my confidence was I feel like I remember reading that somewhere.
No,
but
I don't
then
think
again,
he was, dude.
I don't know.
Well, I think regardless, he was one of the first people to go toe to toe with a knock off the gate.
Yeah,
well, that's
like that.
fact.
which Anak has gone toe to. By the way, she had the green April.
Yeah,
And when he went where it's relevant, because then Anak goes toe to toe with Enderosi, who also says if you don't have the green April, you don't stand a chance. And guess what? She didn't have the green April, and they virtually tied in that scenario. And granted, Enderosi might be a little bit stronger, but she didn't even have the green April, and he's going toe to toe with her with the fucking green April, dude. She whipped half the fucking game's ass in the crown game with that one weapon, and then just fucking jumped off the crown.
Fucking his ass
straight up, dude. Hots is fucking badass. Like, do not sleep on Hots, and I swear they better not fucking just disregard his character. I'm gonna be very upset.
I'll be so mad.
But anyway, right now we work together. It's fine. Right. I think that's cool. Like he's not doing anything that's blowing my fucking wig off my head. You know what I mean? Like,
blowing the wig off my face.
blowing the wig off my socks. Anyway. All right, let's move on. Gavin, snap with it here. What are we doing, Gavin? Are we boring you?
No, I need to know, and I can't find it.
Are you not entertained?
No, I want to know if he's a family. I don't know. Someone tell me.
This is what we have in the comments for, okay? They can all just call stupid.
It's gonna eat me alive. All right, so is it even a question? I mean,
bro.
All right. Let's just start from fact number one. Can we just take a look at this picture, my man? You are lying. You're lying to yourself if you tell me that shit don't hit different. That's just where I want to start because it's the elephant in the room and I have to address it. I have to.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying like you gotta want like you have to have this like crazy sexual desire. I'm just saying you can't tell me that you don't look at that picture and you're like, okay, all right. I see the work you're putting in and I approve.
I see the work. All right.
Yo.
Now we can get into the
I'm speechless.
detective shit.
Dog,
and
I'm
intellectual.
speechless right now.
Argument. He's not going lower than my right-hand man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I think the argument right now is whether he's an S tier or not.
Correct. And I do think there's an argument to be made for S.
Yeah.
I do too. It's just who's taking that token.
I don't know. I
You
don't
think it's a token? You think it's
Well,
token
just keep
or-
in mind we have one
That's
character.
how many characters we have left.
We
6.
got
Six.
we got
Don't worry,
Laurel.
I'll save my token for Rachel. I know what I'm doing.
I had this planned
I'm
out.
just
No, your end game is Yuri.
Yeah, we already know. And yours is this. So, yeah, like, come on. Y'all are predictable. What do you
Actually, no.
Oh, shut up. You just said that because I predicted it. Gavin's like, damn it, he predicted it. Now I got to pick
Why are
someone
you
else.
giving everybody other personal lists?
I don't know. It's kind of. I'm just on this accent right now.
It's not an accent.
I just picked up on that. I was like, wait, accent?
You
Like,
are
I thought
totally
about it
right.
for a second.
I am the most ignorant idiot ever. Speech impediment. By the way, no issue if you do have a lisp. Okay, like.
But I actually,
Man, back to the tier list.
Sorry.
I don't know. This guy's got me eyes too.
Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, let's.
Yeah, we're talking about Kuhn right now. Okay, Kuhn's taking center stage.
So, off the bat, Kuhn is even like amongst this pile of characters here, but even just amongst the cast in general, is clearly like a cut above the rest, and like for a specific reason, right? This story in people who are, supposed to be like all have their different skills and assets. Kuhn seems not only great because like of his obvious intellect and his obvious ability to like adapt on the fly, but because he can analyze other people's skills and put them in places that best utilizes those talents. And I forget what other anime we were talking about where I mentioned something like this or a character like this, but I think that specifically is the skill of a leader. And I think that skill is very hard to come by in any character and even harder to hone. And I think Kuhn out the gate is somebody that can like he sort of like really can like get in and delve into that specific talent, which not only gives him as a character independently like almost limitless potential, but actually limitless potential because he essentially in any situation he's in can figure out the best possible route out. And I literally don't think, other than like maybe the administrator because he's fucking crazy or sleeping with Jihad or whatever the fuck, can say that. Like he has such a knack. I mean, this happens, we in the anime and stuff, and like, it's shown to just be a moment that highlights Kuhn's, strength of intellect and his character, but like he tricked the ranker. Like I don't think that like that's a pretty big deal. Like this ranker
he tricked 2 rankers.
Yeah.
Let me just throw that out there.
systematically-
Lero Rowe was also tricked
Yeah.
watching.
They systematically have proven that these rankers are just like a literal cut above anybody else, right? When it comes to these like these students or whoever, whatever you want to call them, like they're not meant to beat the rankers. They're not meant to go toe to toe with them. Kuhn can know.
Yeah.
And like that's I think worth S.
Yeah.
It is worth S. Don't get me wrong. I think he belongs up there.
Yeah, I do too.
Are we-
I'm gonna be. Yeah, I do.
We can't have.
I think for I think for the reasons that Isaiah stated for sure, and I feel like Kuhn exactly is the opposite and benefits from bias, whereas like people like Rack and Hots get the tail end, right? Because Kuhn's character and just inherently what character archetype he fits into has to be interesting. Otherwise, they aren't that character archetype,
Otherwise
right?
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So it's like the bias has to go towards that direction. So I feel like he has an inherent advantage.
If he didn't end up in S, his character doesn't work.
Exactly, right? It's like that's where I feel where he is. And it's like for the things that he's done and just the complexity that he's had, and he's just played such a major role in everything. Like, and there's never a moment where I'm looking at him and I'm like, dude, that's my guy right there.
Also,
like,
can we just scroll up for a minute?
I already know you're gonna.
I might also be a little gay for Kuhn. Like I'm just gonna say it.
I knew it. As soon as you were like, "Hey, can you scroll up?" I was like, "I already know."
I'm just
bro. I already
picture,
know.
I can't.
All right.
He's S. All right, we got it.
He's S.
All right.
Now we got fucking.
Oh, got me hot and bothered over here.
We got
Shit.
fucking Sleepy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarves next.
Yo, but honestly, don't sleep on this guy. He's up there for me. That's why I said it.
If there were ever a moment to put a rim shot in, it was right there.
Yeah, for real. What the fuck is wrong with you, Gavin? We got a soundboard. You didn't even fucking take advantage of it.
Oh my god, Gavin, you had literally. Whoa!
it's fucking amazing. All right, we're done.
All right, you're done. You're done.
Wait a minute. This one fits the scene perfectly.
No, it doesn't at all. All right, turn that shit off. All right, so Laura has you.
I like how I started with
my
our
God.
outro. I'm just like, what does this button do?
All right, bye. All right, anyway, Laura, whose name I can't fucking pronounce, but I know what it is. Laurel. What else? Laurel. Whatever. That's what we're calling him.
I love this man.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he definitely has some
I'm-
obvious character strengths. I know you got mad at me for making this Naruto reference, but like
God
I get
damn it.
strong Shikamaru vibes where it's like if this man just tried just a little bit harder, I think he would rival or come right under Kun. Like I think he has that potential. I think it's
as that
underutilized,
character.
obviously, by his character flaw being like, I don't really give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
But like I think he's clearly, again, in realms of Kun, like a cut above the rest of these guys in terms of
sure.
like sheer like skill.
And just look at this character design, bro. He's constantly in a sleeping bag.
Dude,
I don't
yeah.
think there's
He's
ever
not
been
like-
a panel where he's not in that
He's
sleeping
not
bag,
like,
right?
I want to go to sleep. My man is constantly ready to go to sleep at the drop of a hat. He literally has
for
to
real.
fall down and he's asleep.
Dude, he's a G. That's
For
why.
real, dude. It's
Like he
hysterical.
solved Shikamaru's problem. Shikamaru's only
Yeah.
problem was like, I don't know where I could take a nap. He's like, dog, just take the sleeping bag with you. Damn genius,
Literally
bro.
become one with the
Yeah,
sleeping
dude.
bag.
All right, that's it.
I would put him in We Work Together, I
At the
think.
very least.
Yeah,
I
at the very
acknowledge
least,
it.
I could see an argument for my right-hand man for him, but I feel like it's tough because of the fact that he's literally asleep for 80% of the time.
It's like that thing
we
you were
just
saying
don't get
where,
to see it.
Again, it comes back to bite him
Yeah.
because it's like,
Yeah.
all right, he's got all this potential, but it becomes unutilized potential when he literally sleeps for
Yeah,
a majority of the
it's-
season.
yeah,
And
This
it's
is
like,
tough,
where it's
man.
hard if you try to break out of like this show in real life. Because in real life, he'd probably be up there with my right hand man. But
Yeah.
like in terms of the show, and again,
Yeah,
for
I think
And
we
just
gotta go We Work
likability,
Together.
like, because you
Yeah.
got to think, if we're putting him right-hand man, we're putting him next to, after all this fucking argument about
And that's
Ambrosia
the other
and a
thing.
knock,
Yeah.
we're just going to be like, he's in a sleeping bag and throw him up there. Like, I feel like that is just straight disrespect to everyone involved, dude. So we're gonna throw him
yeah,
there.
that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
All right, so now we
Alright.
come to my man,
Shibasu.
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 Okay.
Who? All right.
Dude,
I see faces being made.
yeah, man.
What's happening?
I'm not gonna. Gavin, go ahead. What do you
Dude,
think?
he is a fucking G, and honestly, I don't think he deserves the dishonor to be in this cat. What the fuck? I don't think. Okay,
Oh, that's wonky.
that is wonky. I personally think that not only is Shibisu a homie, not only is he a G, I would want this man. Not only, like he is the mix of perfect comedic relief. He does Rack's job. He may be weak as shit. It don't fucking matter because this guy has a pair of steel fucking balls. He looked at that devil demon bull. He looked that bull dead in the face and
Attaboy.
was like, I am gonna die. And it is completely worth it. It is all a part of the plan. I am going to do this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm helping my boy Bam out. And if I was Bam, I would want no one other than Shibasu. Maybe Kun. Kun's dope. But this man was putting
"Kun's dope."
his life on the line for
I
Bam
gotta
and
say,
his purpose, and is 100% behind Bam and his purpose. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I am preserving this man's.
Yeah, man, are you trying to use your coin right
Presence.
now? What's happening?
Dude,
you trying to use your token?
I was really thinking about it, and I don't know.
Because in true One Punch Man vibes, in lieu of characters like what's his name, Bike Man.
Oh,
Mike
Mike Raito.
Merum
It
Rider?
takes
Merum
a,
Rider.
it takes a
Rider,
strong
yeah.
man to fight an enemy.
Yep.
But it takes an even stronger one. It takes an even stronger one who knows that he's not going to win the fight to
Yeah.
still decide to
Yep.
fight. I think
And
that
do it
shows-
because of this man's dreams
Yeah.
and what he
Yeah.
wants to pursue in life. That is the most selfless person that you can ask for.
He really is. I feel like he does like a secondary. I feel like he fits so many roles too,
Yep.
right? Because he
Yeah.
fits the role of Rack, or like for the comedic relief, right? He serves that. He also fits almost like a Bam role as well, where he's able to unify people. Maybe
Yeah.
not to the extent that Bam does, because Bam is like a literal god on Earth. So when you see
Yeah.
him do
But he
miraculous
has that,
things,
like,
but
iron
like
steel
he
courage.
has that
Like-
resolve, and it's like
Yep.
it's so commendable and so hard not to get behind his resolve when he stares the bull in the face, when
Yep.
he's ready to be bait against Quant, when he's
Yep.
ready to fucking throw his life on the line for these dreams in order to bring about meaningful change. And you know what? The other thing I really love about Shibasu, seriously, on another note, Shibasu to me is one of the most I would say, relatable characters in terms of the fact that he, out of all these people, is like the most human. And I think that's funny to say because not everything is human in here, right? Because we're in the tower and there's different species and all that kind of shit. And that's not to discount anyone else to say they are not human. But I think that he shows superhuman qualities that I really get behind. And I feel as if, like when I'm watching him, it's like I always gravitate towards characters in shows like Shibasu, or like I'll throw a Naruto reference in there, like your Rock Lees and shit, right? That are automatically put at like a vast disadvantage because of the fact that they can't shoot fucking beams out of their eyeballs or hands, or they can't fucking make a Rasengan, or they can't fucking have a bag that duplicates shit, like, or they don't have incredible intellect. Which, by the way, he's smart, and I think that's something that shouldn't be put to the side. I think that he hides it well. But I think he's smarter than people give him credit for. But like, he is human, dude. Like, at the end of the day, it's like you put yourself in his shoes and it's like, dude, I can relate. And it's like, he inspires me to be like more human and to preserve justice, good, and truth above honestly any other character. Like, even though I put Kun in S, I don't look at Kun and see like someone that I'm like, Kun, you inspire me to do what is right and just. I look at Kun and I'm like, you're a badass. But I look at Shibasu and I'm like, dude, you inspire me to literally be better. Like a Bam. But like, to me, honestly, even more so. Like,
I think he works in the same, like what you were saying, I think he works in the same lieu of Bam, where at the end of the day, like, he is one of the only other characters in this group that works off of like pure inspiration and works off of like, I'm not good at these things. Like, I'm going to try until I get good at them. And like, he definitely strikes me in the like relatable vibe, in the sense that like, this is a man who I think first and foremost, to be honest, even if it was like at the expense of like justice and all that, is willing and has been willing to put his life on the line, like for his friends, right? This is a man who is like loyal to a T. And I think that level of loyalty is just in our real world hard to come by, but in a world like this, in a world that is literally built that the only way you get ahead is by stepping on top of other people. This man is a diamond in the rough.
Especially when he doesn't even have any right to be able to make that. He has no reason to.
It would be so much easier and more beneficial for him to be mean and ruthless and sneaky, but he's not. He chooses his friends every single time, because I think there's actually, it's a moment that Bam has in season 1 when he's talking with Rachel, and I think he says, what is the name of the thing he makes the contract with? They call it like the
administrator, right?
Where he's talking with it, and it asks him, what does he want, like at the top of the tower? And the first thing Bam thinks of is Rachel, which we all know is a mistake. And then the second thing is the cafeteria. I think that moment is a thing that Bam shares with Shibasu. I think more than anything, these two have such a strong desire and passion for their friends, and they just want this group of people, their friends, to succeed and get ahead, and are willing to do whatever it takes to get that. And
I can't wait till like first episode of season 2, Shibasu pulls some like fucking scum shit.
Literally just like blow a hole in an ox head, and he's like, Rachel, I'm on your side. And it's like, no!
I've been playing you this whole time. I'm actually a super fucking human bitch who can just pop, you're dead. And he's just like a G for no reason. Like, he just beats everybody. I don't know.
For real. No, but on a real note though, so where do you put him?
Right-hand man, I think.
Where do you put him? Without like tokens, nothing, like on like just on a real
tokens
note.
Aside, real note, I would 100% do That's My Boy without even questioning.
I totally agree.
Really?
Without even
100%. I think he is one of my favorite characters in this entire series.
I completely agree. Over Bam.
And for all the reasons we stated, I don't think we've been more in unison on a character in this entire fucking thing besides Kun. And like, I think that's saying something in terms of like what we've done, but that's me. I'm gonna go there. That's majority rule. Okay. But he's like, that ain't no coin.
You out of luck.
Shit.
I like that. I don't give a fuck what you say.
You know why? Because that's my boy.
All right. Do we have to talk about this one? Do we have to?
Well, I have a token, Gavin. No. Yeah, she's a piece of scum and the worst thing on the planet.
Yeah,
she should have added a whole other category. Just like Rachel.
I really fucked up.
You know, you should check out, if you haven't already, some of our previous episodes analyzing the, whatever anime webtoon, and like when we talk about her and why she's such a fucking scuzzball, to really go in, because we don't have to.
We went in depth.
We really go in depth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really any argument here. Who are you, Rachel?
All right,
literally.
So now what's interesting here,
she doesn't know who she
is we have 3 characters left. I already know one of them is my
Nobody used the
token,
token.
and you niggas haven't used your tokens, which means you're
That
either
is
not going to
correct.
use them or you're going to ride or die on these two characters.
Okay,
which,
what happened? Okay, if we don't use them in this time, we'll
okay,
take
you're
one
saying
last
you might
look,
wanna-
and then we'll do like a
Okay.
fucking. All right, I'm doing a switcheroo at the last second.
Okay.
If we don't use them,
Well, let's use mine because we already know what's happening.
All right, fair
Please
enough.
put my princess, Lord and Savior at the top.
All right, so all right, she's in her spot.
Yeah, but that's a weird way to put her in S tier. I don't really know how you did that.
Oh no, I'm putting her where she belongs. I'm fucking with
That's
you.
cool. Yeah, you can just fix that though before I actually reach across this table and snatch the throat away from your face.
but why is she S? Give me. I mean, like she's in, and we have no argument. But I'm curious, like, so people know.
You want to know?
But I think the world wants to know.
Because she's perfect.
Can you elaborate?
Damn. Look at that body.
Girl, look at that body.
No, but on a real note, I do actually really just fuck with Yuri's character above Attraction. I think that from the gate, she's one of the only characters that like it's like sort of in the realm of Kun, right? Where it's like she's very clearly able to like look at a room and like pick out all of the like I guess sort of best and worst like scenarios that are going down, right? So when she first hears about like that Bam or I guess I don't know if it was like specifically Bam or it was just that in a regular had entered the tower and she decides to come down, like Yuri is passionate and very clearly driven to like want to do the right thing and want to correct the path that like the current tower and situation is in, i.e. she has very clear like intentions to go against King Jihad and this whole system, but she's not an idiot, right? Yeah. She knows who she is, she knows what a person of her position can get her in the current situation she's in, and she knows how to use that to her advantage, right? She's willing to play the long game if ultimately that can get her the best result. And I think amongst all of the other characters, like there's just there's an age difference with her where it's like all these other characters have such great potential, whether they have one like great character flaw or character strength or two character strengths. But like Yuri's had time to hone hers. She not only knows what her strengths are, but she knows how to use them, right? She's utilized them countless times to the point where they are second nature. And she knows the second she's in a position where like she can't, she won't do well in, or like she can't succeed in. And so she's built herself into a position, i.e. like in the company of people that compensate and cover those weaknesses, i.e. her navigator, Evan, and big hammer dude whose name eludes me.
Yeah, something Corvan. I don't know. Some of the K.
Yeah, Corin.
To do exactly.
We totally butchered that, dog.
Thor.
It's like Crouton. Yeah, Crouton. That's what we call him when we saw them one time. We're calling him Crouton or King DDD.
Right, so Yuri, Evan, and Crouton. Yeah. But they do that. They cover all the weaknesses, and when I say weaknesses, I don't just
Curdon. That's it. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think they're weaknesses of like physically of Yuri's. I think Yuri could take down almost literally anybody she wants.
It's that we've seen so far.
Yeah. I think that they are weaknesses again because of the position she's in, which we see with the whole altercation with Rice Ball, where it's like Yuri could easily roll up in there and stomp that nigga's face into the ground like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's politics.
Physically, she could do that right, but she knows she can't, so she's built herself into a position and a team that can literally handle and equipped to deal with all the problems that she technically can't. And I think that speaks, again, not to just a level of like intellect and like power, but like experience with that. It's not something like with Kun or even like, again, with like Shibisu or Bam or Enderosi, where it's like we're seeing these characters start to change or we're seeing them apply their strengths, and it's only a matter of time before we, before we see what that will lead to. We've seen it. We haven't seen all of it, obviously, but I think it's a confidence thing. While I feel Kun or, Bam or whoever can get there, Yuri's there and I've seen it. And like that level of confidence, like, plus, God, just look at her, dude. Fuck. That's my queen, bro.
You're fucking
Yuri stands. I got you.
All right, who do we got next? Serena. So I'm not gonna lie, for me, Serena.
I have very non-existent almost opinions about her. I don't think she's bad. I just
First of all, that is not what I was going to say.
I know.
I didn't think it was. That's why I was trying to get it out first. I just what I mean, to be honest, is I'm willing to throw her wherever you guys want to throw her because I don't have a strong argument for any position really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's I feel like she actually fulfills a lot of similar roles that Shibasu does, actually, in her own right. And I actually love the interaction between her and Shibasu as well, being that they are so similar in the fact that they don't have outstanding abilities. They don't have the supreme intellect, the incredible strength. And it's cool to see their interactions because I've said it when we analyzed the anime, I remember, that even in the anime, there were so many scenes where it was like, that was my favorite scene of the episode because just their conversations or something that Serena said, right? Like when she's laying Ho to rest. That sounds funny. When she's fucking,
Why are we all actual kids?
Yeah, we're children. When Ho's dying, right? And she has, I'm not going to try and even repeat the monologue because I don't even know where to start, but there was like this really heartfelt monologue where it's like, I understand you. Yeah. Like we've been there and it's like, I've spent my whole life running and it's like, I wish that you could have seen it through because I feel like you could have been a better man. Like, dude, all of those fucking scenes are when she talks to Shibasu when she's going to leave, right? Yeah. And they have that. All of those scenes, dude, hit me in the gut every time. Oh, yeah. Every time. And I just spit everywhere. I'm sorry. But
admits that like her whole reason for coming to the tower was to run away, right? From the life that she was living and the situation she was in. Every time she's been in a bad spot, instead of fight it or like face it head on, she's run from it. And so I think while many people might look at her decision to leave the tower as running away, I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's her finally taking a problem in her life head on and facing it and being like, I'm not coming here anymore to run.
100%.
Like, you know?
100%. And I think in such a short span of time, that character has had so much growth and has been able to inspire growth in other characters along the way. Maybe not on the level of like a Shibasu or a Bam, because I feel like she just doesn't have the reach, but I feel like on an individual level, right? Like Bam and Shibasu could go into a crowd and it's like, I'm ready to get behind
and rally that,
But Serena is the one that comes to you when you're feeling in your lowest, and she's the one to come there, or she's the one to come and put you in your place when you when you've gone too far. And like on that individual level, it's like I actually don't think that there's anyone on this list that's actually able to compare to her in that personal skill, in that personable skill that she has on an individual level. And yeah, for that reason, I love her as a character. I think she's great.
And it was funny because when we were talking about the whole right-hand man and woman, and you guys, initially, I didn't say this, but when you're talking about like who would you actually have up there, you know, if it's going to go to Enderosi or Anak, honestly, I think just as a person, like personality, execution of herself, and learning through life and development, I think that she ticks all the boxes in a better way than both Anak and Enderosi. And honestly, I think at the end of the day, she's just a better person. Yes, she has her flaws and she's done fucked up shit, but she has come to terms with her flaws and is taking the next step forward proactively by leaving the tower. And that's probably one of the hardest moves that you can make, especially from what she did leave and had to do to get to the point where she's at. And they have the great shot with her pulling like a Griffith when she's on top of this mound of dead bodies. And she's like, she recognizes this is what I had to do to get to this point. And now I'm getting not cold feet, but I'm realizing this isn't how I want to continue my life.
Exactly.
Because it is wrong and I don't feel good as a person.
Yeah.
And this is like, she understands that fundamentally and takes that next step forward. Preach. And that's why as a person, as a friend, there are a few people who I would genuinely want to be friends with. Like, you could take anybody to the top aside. Like, Kun, like, you would want to be. But honestly, she's a real ride or die. Like, and especially when fucking Ho died, and afterwards she's like, yo.
Sorry.
When she died, she was like, yo, let's all, like, we're all getting a drink. We're sitting down. Yeah. We're spending time together. We're not all going off in our own individual rooms, you know. We're being like a family. We're drinking. We don't fucking care. We're letting our sorrows out. And that is the most real person.
Yeah, Shibasu or a Bam might be able to, like, rally and inspire anybody, even people that vehemently oppose their like decisions, and therefore they're people who go to people that oppose them, right? Or people that like they can essentially confront and talk to anybody with that level of like confidence. She's somebody who goes to people that need her, and what I mean by that is that like she's not talking to, you know, King Jihad and like, yo, you gotta come off your shit and stop, you know, whatever. Or she's not going to like, you know, one of the rankers or whatever. She's going to like the Hos, of the world, or like she's going to.
Come on, that one was funny.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, that was good. She's going to like all the people, like the crowd that she ran with before going to the tower.
Mm-hmm.
She is Serena, right?
Serena,
Serena is best. Like her character is best served when she's around people that like can better themselves by being with her.
Yep.
Right. She's around the people that
whether
need
they
her
even know they needed it or not.
Exactly.
Yep.
She's around the people that need her because those people are most likely like to like lack the self-confidence or self-image to pick themselves up. 100%. So she's there to do it.
Yep. 100%. I love her as a character. I'm not gonna lie. I would put her in That's My Girl.
I agree. Friends with Facebook.
I almost went across the table that time and fucking smacked you with this mouse.
What do you think, Adam?
I'm not even. It's not even a question.
Yeah, she's fucking. Wait, no. I'm talking here.
Oh wait, I'm so stupid. I'm not looking.
Oh, you putting her in S?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, 100%. Maybe it's a bias, and that's
not a token, right? That's just
we both agreed.
I agree. I honestly agree. Like these two would be like actual ride or dies. Like I would want.
I'm gonna be real. Actually, those two are I think that those two are my favorite characters in the show.
Me too. Kun and Yuri, they're the best.
I would if I group them in a top 3.
Okay, fair enough.
My number 1 would tie with probably Shibisu, but she is like a hard right behind him.
Yeah,
like,
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I almost they're a pair to me. Like they're
just. We got one more character. Let's finish this bitch.
All right,
we already know this is my boy. I fucking love this man. And you can think all you want.
No,
but
I want to hear it.
All right. So,
and you shut your mouth.
Yeah, I was like, I have a gun.
I have a gun. I got plenty guns.
He puts it on the table.
I got a shotgun. Fucking. All right, no, but
now we got to put an R rating on this.
Yeah. Jeez, Louise, we're on rails.
So what I like about Leroro, on a real note, he is the type. This is going to sound weird, but as a person, I would want him as a guardian in my life. He is someone who I would want to learn from, and correspondingly, I would want guidance from in my life.
You want to dad him?
What?
You want to dad him?
I want to dad him, more or less. Like, if he doesn't even need money, I'll be a sugar baby. I don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, he is, even though the whole jihad situation and him being a ranker and what have it, even in his position, he looks at these students more or less below him who he's guiding on this journey of literal death and killing each other. And even through that, he has a cold-hearted side, yes, because he has to be. But at the end of the day, he, even at his point in development as a person, he is able to step back, look at the people below him, such as Ban, Shibisu, Kun, all of these people, and learn from them and create his own thoughts around what he's perceiving, and that is ultimately changing his perception on what he is now realizing what is right or wrong. I feel like, honestly, everybody on this list is a blessing in disguise for this man, because now he's coming to the realization in his life where I feel like he's almost finding his purpose now. And it's like, okay, maybe everything here isn't right. Maybe these kids have a point. No, they do have a point. Look at all of their teamwork. Look how they're going against the wave of the tower. That was nasty. And look how they're... I spit.
Dude, there's spit flying. Dude, we're fucking like...
Yeah, dude. I need water. But it's so hard because, like, I just respect someone who, even in the power, and he should have a solidified mindset, and he has all the justification in the world to have that mindset because he's a ranker. He could literally be just where he's at. He can ride his high horse and be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do my own shit. You guys are below me. You know, it's my way or the highway. But he is very accepting to the fact where he feels like he needs to protect Bam, and even held his identity from Han Sung for as long as he could because he wanted to curate Bam as a person and is like, hey, this kid has something going for him. I don't want him to be like seen or like given up. I want him to grow and progress through the tower, and I think he has something behind him to the extent where he literally puts himself on the line to back them. And I don't know, I have so much respect for him because arguably he could die from this shit if they find out he's in so much of like, not really a cahoots, but like, I feel like if Jihad or anybody really understood
if he's talking
how
about going against the tower, like that's a punishable offense by death.
Exactly. And that's why, like, for me, I have nothing but respect for this man. I fucking, from the second I met him, I'm like, 1, he's a badass, and 2, he knows where the fucking shit smells good, so.
Not to mention, he's also voiced by the same guy who does Overhaul.
And that is a big cherry.
He has a huge man crush
dude,
on the dude
that
who
voice
Overhaul.
is so sick,
I'm
dude.
not gonna lie, and that's what
right.
kind of started the thoughts, because
100%.
that voice acting, dude, fucking top notch. I fucking love it. Holy shit, dude, that is total boner worthy, and I don't even care.
All right.
I don't even care.
That's a good argument. Fell apart at the end of that a little bit. Ian, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
It's my token.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Yeah, at the end of the
token?
day, yeah, he's my token.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You should have led with that, nigga. I didn't know what you were going to go with that.
No.
You like had this whole passionate speech, and then you're like, "And we'll just drop him an S," and like, you gotta say that you're using the token.
Yeah, no,
Nah,
I was
dude.
waiting for a little, back and forth banter for you to be like, well, guess what? I use my token. Like a trap card comes
Yeah,
out
yeah,
from
you
Yu-Gi-Oh!
yell
No,
that
my
shit.
trap card is fuck you. I'm skipping that level, and you can fucking wallow in depression.
I think that's
despair.
an illegal card. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar
I
with
mean,
the card.
no, honestly, I would put him. I would probably put him. Fuck, it's been a long day. I'd probably put him in my right hand man.
Fair enough.
That's probably,
personally,
yeah, where I'd put him.
Because I totally agree with what you were saying, and I actually love the perspective that you're coming from, where it's like he's using all of these people to grow, and he just shows that no matter how powerful you think you are or how much you think you know, there's always another level. There's always more you can be doing, and these characters, through their actions and growing, are inspiring him to grow and to challenge the system and to challenge his own train of thought, which actually I thought was a beautiful way to describe his character. And in so describing it, I almost in my mind for a second was like, damn, I could see an S tier. I think at the end of the day, I don't think he's quite S. I think he's A for the reasons you described, but I think that if we're talking about a character that has had, for me, a lot of it comes down to impact, whether it's on the characters in the show or if Isaiah's battery just died. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Gavin for a lot of the things that he said. I don't think I'd quite put him S tier. I think I would put him my right-hand man. I don't feel like he is enough of a overwhelming impact on the cast as a whole. And
Gavin just eyed each of these cameras and was like, "There's."
yeah, that's cute, Gavin. You can make a bird with your hand. That's nice.
My Lero stands, they got me.
There you go, Ian. Let the hate roll off the shoulder.
No.
Be the bigger man here.
Yeah, fight him after.
Dude. Look at these dimpies.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like individually he has a lot of really outstanding qualities. I feel like for me, the people that go into S tier are the ones that have not only individual outstanding qualities, but qualities that are able to sway the group or sway me as a viewer as well. And I feel like Lero can check one of those boxes, but probably not on the same level, in my opinion, as someone like a Shibasu or a Serena.
Well, can I get that argument a little bit?
But I feel like he does. He definitely does check a lot of boxes. I just feel like he doesn't. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he just doesn't hit on the same level for me. I honestly, at the end of the day, I could fucking sugarcoat it all I want. I think it's a bias, but like, I don't know. I feel like he just hasn't had enough time to really flesh out like some of the other characters have.
I think he's at a very like critical moment. I feel like in the story because he's not bad. I don't think he's bad at all. I would definitely put him probably right hand man. I just think like it's so interesting though that right now his character feels like it's literally in flux, right? Because up until the events of Tower of God, he's been like, you know what I mean, one of the other rankers, and he's been doing his job and saying yes and you know dotting T's, crossing I's, all that. But like you were saying, Gavin, to your points, since he's met these, you know, I keep wanting to call them kids, but literally like some of them are 300 years old.
Oh, you darn kids!
Yeah, you darn 300-year-old kids. Since he's met this group of people. He's been learning from them and not learning lessons that like he might think he needs to learn where it's like, oh, how to do this better or how to improve on this. But it's like how to be a better person, like what it means to question something if somebody's being hurt. Like, you know what I mean? All these like moral things that like as you get older, you tend to like push to the wayside. Yeah. And I think right now at the moment we're at where like Bam, you know, seems to be dead. You know, the whole group it just feels like sort of in flux and disarray. Sure. And his I want to say resentment, that might be a little too strong, but his questioning, curiosity of the administrator and his methods is at an all-time high. And so like I feel like at a crossroads right now. And he could come out the other side of this, one of my favorite characters or not. You know what I mean? It depends on what decisions he makes, but I like that his character is in this position, and I like his stance like in that situation.
Sure. No, solid points.
Yeah.
I mean, he does wind up best because we did do our tokens. Now that does wrap it up for all the characters, and I have not used a token. So I would like to propose, instead of just putting someone into S who I don't think deserves to be into S, that I have the ability to move a character somewhere. Can you guys agree to that? So long as they are not locked, i.e. Yuri and Laro Row.
Yeah, it's fine.
You think?
Hey, you use your token how you want to use it.
Okay.
I was like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
Like, hey, do what you want, man.
It goes against
a weaker man has to make a choice.
Then,
No, I'm gonna be honest. I think like in like Mario Party fashion, there could be merit to doing like a rapid fire, like, okay, really though, and like move, like quick.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you wanted to, but I guess I'm using my lucky star at the end here. If I think, see, the thing is though, honestly, a lot of how this turned out, I genuinely do agree with. I'm not gonna lie, like even S tier.
I don't. Y'all niggas are crazy.
But I don't know, like
Look at this list.
you know.
I'd move some of these niggas around.
I like how we started. We're like, 3 people are going to be up here. I mean, 5. Either way, I agree wholeheartedly. with
Yeah,
everybody who's
if
up
I'm
here.
being honest, on a couple levels, I probably think at the end of the day, after re-looking at this list, I probably think someone like Ryun could probably go to friends on Facebook, as well as maybe not Hots. I love Ryun to death as a character, just like her character design. I think she's incredibly slept on. I don't think she has enough, but I don't want to move her there because that's disrespectful. I think at the end of the day, fuck, man. We're going to go with...
Gavin. Playing with dangerous fire.
I know. Oh,
that was scary.
He's looking.
Damn, dude. I literally can't decide. I was going to say, honestly, if anything, it would be like putting, just to piss people off, putting Dorsey down and Rosie down.
But then you realize that would be the wrong decision.
And not only that,
then you
and
thought it
Nox
over.
going with her.
No,
so.
I know. It doesn't make sense to do it. Honestly, dude, I'm like not even trying to be too anticlimactic here. I honestly fuck with this list how it is. I don't think I would change anything. Honestly, the only things I would change are the ones that are locked in place. But again, that's why they're locked in place. So,
in conclusion, Ian's wrong.
I'm just saying.
In conclusion, he's just going for my Laro Row.
I'm just
and I ain't about
saying.
it.
I'm just saying. I think Yuri and Laro Row are like right hand man woman material personally.
Right, but when
they
you
are
attack
locked.
my queen, you attack me, and I don't
And
really
you
fucking
attack my
appreciate
Laro
being
Row,
attacked.
and I'm gonna unleash
I'm
the dick.
just saying.
Gavin and I will both beat your ass.
We will both.
I will say, if it wasn't for us agreeing that Shibasu was S tier, he was going to be my token. Like, if there was a, I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, no, I think if Shibasu was chosen by you guys unanimously to go lower, I think that's who I would have used the token on. So I'll just say that it would have been him.
Back, he my boy.
Yeah, but I really do fuck with that character a lot, and I do like what this list ended up. I'm not gonna lie. If anything, I could potentially see Ryun being friends on Facebook. There, I don't know. Put her down. Fuck it. I'll use my token.
Thank you.
Damn.
You know,
I
it's,
rest my case.
I was the one
you
advocating.
fucking hoodwinked everybody, bro.
I was there.
I was the one who's like
Dude,
realistically.
it was like at
would
the
be
end of
friends on
Mario Party,
Facebook.
right? And everybody was like, you know what? I think I know how this game's gonna turn out.
Yeah.
And then bam, they got hit.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
just being real with her. Like,
No, I'm not gonna lie. I do love her character design,
Agreed.
and I was honestly the one to first advocate that we put her higher. I'm not gonna lie. I was really standing her, and I still do. But I could see from likability standpoint, like I just feel like there isn't like she's clearly got some shit political workings going on, and at the end of the season, she's like, bam. Here I am, like I'm gonna be the one that's like
Yeah,
the
it's
entry
clear
level.
that she's gonna be in the bigger picture.
Yeah, but I feel like as it stands right now
Yeah.
in season 1, I just don't know enough about her. She's just literally a blank canvas right now with like very little speckles of paint on there, and like I just can't get enough of a read on
she
her.
is subject to change. I feel.
Yeah, honestly,
It's
if
one
I
of
did
those
it, it's just
characters.
straight up based off attractiveness at this point, and I'm not gonna be that
there's
shallow.
nothing wrong with that.
I'm not gonna be that shallow. So I could see putting her friends on Facebook.
Yeah, why do you
so-
think Coon's up there? I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah, right. Can we really deny?
Gavin, don't attack Coon.
But
No, I'm saying it's awful looks.
anyway, so to go through the list one more time. So we'll go from the bottom up. So if you want to scroll down a bit, not that far. In Who Are You, aka D tier, we have Ho and we have Rachel. In Friends on Facebook, also C tier, we have Hedon, fucking
Hansung.
thank you, Hansung, and Ryun. And we work together, which would be B. We have Quant, we have Hots, and we have Laral. And in A, my right-hand man / woman, we have Bam, we have Rack, we have Anak, and we have Dorsey. And coming in at That's My Boy, or That's My Girl, at the S tier, we have Kun, we have Shibasu, we have Yuri, we have Serena, and we have Laryl Rowe. A lot of S tiers up here, but to be fair, we knew there was going to at least be 2 or 3. So it makes sense that they're locked in. So now the question, of course, has to be passed off to the audience. It has to be passed off
To you.
Mm-hmm. That's it. What do you think of our tier list? Do you agree? Do you think that certain characters could be moved around? Give us reasons why. I like it when you go into a discussion as to why you think a character deserves to be where they are, and not just because it's like they're attractive or like they're whatever,
and
right?
Try to keep it within season 1. Don't go like, because of that.
Yeah. Try and keep it
the
the opinion based within, and I know that's hard for some people that have read further ahead,
Right.
obviously, because they
they
know
probably have completely
they already
different
the doors
opinions of
are
all these
open, right?
characters.
It's like
Yeah.
we are
Exactly.
strictly basing this off of season 1, so try and keep it within the lens of that. But let us know. I'm really curious to hear your comments, and you could check this tier list out on our social media. We will be posting it as well as the website that it uses, tiermaker.com. The link on there as well, so you could go in and get a closer look if you needed to. But I had a lot of fun doing this. Let us know if you enjoyed this. This was definitely a long one, so thank you for anyone who stuck along for the ride. This was one of the most fun episodes I think I've done in a while, personally.
Facts.
And if you had the, if you came along for the ride with us, I appreciate you for that, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. But yeah, until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening. Peace.
Later.
Peace.
Hey folks, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our new episodes.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AoA Podcast if you want to keep up with our content or suggest new ideas for the show.
You can watch us on YouTube or listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, or more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week to talk about all things anime.
Ninjas are samurais, blazing the cool knives. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls.